state your name and go from there.
Russell L. Berkey.
Okay. Affectionately known as Russ around here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Church. Nobody knows my name. They will just call me Papa.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Because I'm the oldest one in church.
And how old are you?
94.
94. A fresh 94, right?
Fresh 94.
Okay, Russ, can you tell us what branch of the service you were in?
I was in the United States Air Force.
United States Air Force. You went maybe
1950 to 52, something like that.
Okay, all right. So you were kind of the Korean War type.
Yeah, Korean War vet.
Yeah, yeah.
And I spent all my time after I got out of boot camp. I spent the rest of my time in Washington, D.C.
Oh, well, la-dee-da.
Never got to go overseas.
Yeah. So what did you, can you tell us a little bit about what you did there, or?
Yeah, I was in the military air transport service. So we took care of all the planes coming in with the dignitaries and the foreign dignitaries and presidents and all that stuff. And we had to be dressed in our white uniforms and always out there and push a ramp up to the plane. And then after everybody got on, they gave me a pickup. And I had a pickup that people, some of them had a lot of things that they couldn't bring through customs. So they'd leave it in the middle of that plane and tell me, go down to the hangar and get this out of take it to the parking lot.
Okay, all right.
And that was where I spent my time in the service.
Do you have any particular memory that pops out at you, or?
Oh, one time I can remember one boy. They was cleaning the plane, and he fell out the door and killed himself, just falling out.
Ooh.
And I was just a country boy. I never seen anything bigger than a little plane, And I got down there, thought, what am I doing in a place like this? Jeez, this plane's so big.
And then, I mean, okay, I gotta ask, were you married then?
No.
So you were having a good time. The young guy in D.C. It was kind of overwhelming, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was terrible because that was just when they was starting to give the blacks some freedom, and it wasn't safe to walk down the street because they'd be standing behind a building throwing jugs at you. Different blacks.
Wow.
It was a wild place then.
Yeah. Well, when is DC not wild? But that's beside the point.
And there'd be prostitutes running up and down every street. It was a wild place.
Yeah.
I remember when I got there, I said, I'll never know how to drive in a big place like this because I'm from the country. But after I was there a few months later, it all came. Because I had to go take the driver's test have a military license for driving. And the base there at National Airport didn't have any gates or fences around it or anything. So it was nice. We just kind of had free run. It was really nice.
Yeah. So did you choose the Air Force, or did the Air Force choose you?
I chose the Air Force rather than to get drafted. I enlisted.
Okay, all righty.
When I was 18, I enlisted. As soon as I turned 18, I said, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. And did you, when you got out, did you go home right off, or did you decide you were going to go see a little bit more of the world?
No, I came right back home. I had a lot of things to do at home. my grandparents, they didn't have anywhere to go anyplace or do anything. My parents didn't have anywhere to go anyplace or do anything, so I was a chauffeur for all of them.
Well, see, that's a good thing you got that military driver's license.
So it was great.
Yeah.
And I can't complain. I shouldn't.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to tell new people that are going into the military?
It's a great thing. I think every young person should do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's the best training they can get and the best understanding how somebody else is going to tell you what to do and how to do it.
Okay.
And you can't say no, you're going to do it.
Okay, super. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. You just want to go ahead and answer the questions here. They're not even questions, but
My name is Larry Clarkson. I was in the Army for 22 years, from 1970 to 1992. I had a wonderful career. I enjoyed every bit of it. I went to Vietnam. I went to Korea twice. Went to Alaska once. Went to Guatemala once, and then to Honduras once. That was my overseas.
what branch were you in?
Army.
Okay.
I was in aviation. I was a flight engineer on a CH-47 Chinook.
Chinook. Wow. Okay.
And
Isn't that right?
you what?
You were labeled as a coward.
Yeah. I love flying. There's nothing like it. And I enjoyed working on them. I had numerous type of jobs. I had some administrative jobs, which I really found out as I got older, I really liked more than doing anything else. My last job was I worked in G3, which is the general staff and operations, and it was one of the best jobs I ever had. So,
is there any particular memory that jumps out at you that you want to share?
I found my wife while I was in the military, and she got a prize, me. And our children were both born actually at the same hospital, but 2 years apart. It was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. We went to Alaska, and that's where I saw my children really grow up.
Yeah.
And they loved it up there. They really did.
Okay.
So,
And you got any advice for anybody that wants to go into the military now?
Don't be a coward.
the biggest thing I guess would be is you need the different services are for different personalities. You know, the Army might not be for you, but it'll be for somebody else. The Air Force, my grandson was thinking about going in, and I suggested he go in the Navy. Because I felt that'd be the best for him.
Okay. All right. So you've got families going into the military
Well,
now.
he's not
right?
going in, that's what my son
what
was
he was
in
looking
the
at?
Army for 7 years.
Oh, okay.
Went to Iraq twice.
Okay. All righty. Anything else that pops into your head that you want to say?
No, most stuff pop out of it.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Hi, Charles.
Hello?
There's so much I want to talk to you about, but right now I want to talk to you about your military service.
Yes, Tammy, my name is Charles Gunn, and I went in the United States Army. I went to Atlanta, was sworn in on June the 17th, 1969, and then later that day, and it was after dark, we were shipped to Fort Benning for 8 weeks of basic training in Columbus, Georgia. And I remained in there for those 8 weeks, and then after that, I was assigned to go to Fort Sam Houston, Texas at San Antonio, where I was to take medical corpsman training. And when I got there, I think the first 3 weeks, they put us driving military vehicles. So 1 week we trained, and the other 2 weeks we did duties around picking up people or going places. And so I learned how to drive a Jeep, 3/4 trucks, 2.5 ton trucks that you haul troops in, and I did that. And then after that, I started my 10 weeks medical training. And I left San Antonio after that training, probably about close to the end of August. And no, excuse me.
Okay.
But anyway,
The fact that you're remembering this in that much detail is amazing.
yeah. But anyway, we did the medical training in San Antonio, and then they sent me to Fort Bliss, Texas at El Paso. Sent me to a mobile missile unit, and the reason we were there is a mobile unit could be called to go anywhere in the world. So with military standards, you were allowed to have, say, 6 medics. But we didn't really have a job because we didn't have a dispensary. So that was kind of a bad place to be in when we gathered together the formation in the morning, deciding who was going to go where and what errands were going to be done. And, it was real easy if everybody say, get one of those medics, they don't have a job anyway. And so one day I was in the little medical office typing, and the medical sergeant saw me and says, "Oh, you type?" And I said, "Yes, I typed in high school and 2 years of technical school." And he said, "Well, the major over the personnel office they're getting ready for an IG inspection, and they could probably use you." So I went over there and became a clerk typist, and I never worked in the medical MOS, and then I eventually changed my MOS to a personnel specialist and a secondary of a clerk typist. And I remained at Fort Bliss for the remainder of my 1.5 years in service. And then I was discharged on June the 16th, 1971. And so that was and you learn a lot of things. You make a lot of friends. Some of my best friends in life that I made in the Army. And named my child after one of them, and the other one we used to go see each other every couple of years. He lived in Missouri, and he'd come here in a couple of years. We'd go to Missouri. So a lot of good things with the military, and a lot of times when we were on those parade fields for some general to retire or something or other, we were walking by those flags and doing the eyes right. It made you feel good that you represented this country, and it's always been like that. And that was my time. I never was. It was during the Vietnam era, but my name never came up to go, and it didn't hurt my feelings at all. But so I spent my time in Georgia and Texas, and came home.
Awesome. Is there anything that any kind of advice or any kind of something that you want to say to anybody who might be thinking about going into the military?
I'll say the advice I got, and I'll explain it. And it's kind of humorous, but it's good advice, because in the military, I talked to people before I went in to kind of know what to expect, know what to look for. And so many people told me the same thing: don't volunteer for anything. And usually with the military, it's not a problem with that volunteering, because they'll tell you what the project is, and we need 3 volunteers, and after which they say you, and you. I said, but the things that have happened while I was there, once they asked somebody, "Do you have a driver's license?" And everybody thought, "Oh, driving." and they put them doing work with a wheelbarrow. And then another time they said, "Is anybody in here know how to type?" But as usual, I wasn't falling for anything. I didn't say anything. Somebody raised their hand, and they gave them a job moving office furniture. So those are some advice I got, and served me well. You know,
Yeah.
I did what I was supposed to do, and I left the service. I was a specialist 5th class, so in 2 years, E5 is the most rank you can get, and I was determined to do the best I could, and that's what I did. And it's been E5 that allowed me and my wife to bring our household goods shipped home by the military, and they shipped it to Fort Gordon where we could come pick it up, you know. So, but it was learned a lot, and you know, it's a good thing for people to go, because a lot of times, first time in your life, you're really on your own, and you don't have a brother or sister or mother dead to like help me with this, or you know, you're on your own, and so you learn a lot of things that you wouldn't learn, and you might not necessarily got the best training. It's just, I want this done when I get back, and you figure it out, and so that would help a lot of young people today.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Charles. That was a wonderful chat.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I'm sure I'll be hitting you up for something else again.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
My name is Kwame Green, and I am a U.S. Marine. I served in the Marine Corps from 1996 to 2000. I have a lot of memories, a lot of things that I learned in the Marine Corps. One of the things is just the friendships that I developed. I have friends that still reach out to me. I still contact them, visit them, and their families, even since the year 2000. And so that type of relationship, the type of friendship that you build, even from working together and serving together, is one of the biggest things that I remember. I initially went into the Marine Corps just to get out of the situation that I was in. I was involved in some things that would probably get me in trouble, and I knew that I needed to do something different. So you could say, I actually say that the Marine Corps was a part of saving my life and causing me to become a productive citizen. So I celebrate the military services. I celebrate all of the branches, and anyone who serves in any capacity, willing to protect our country, even if we don't agree with all the decisions that are made. It's still our country. My children don't agree with all the decisions that I make in my house, but it's still their house. It's our house. And I'm here to say that, you know, if you're thinking about the service, hey, look into which branch you want to go into, look and see what job you want to do, and go for it. There's opportunities for college, opportunities for personal growth and professional development, and it's a great opportunity for anyone who wants to get involved.
Awesome. Now, you said you were in the Marine Corps. Okay, first off, once a Marine, always a Marine. So when I said were, I know that's not how it goes. It's you are in the Marine Corps.
Well, I am a Marine. I'm not in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, so, okay, that's right. Once a Marine, always a Marine. That's how it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what, did you do a specific job? I mean,
Yeah. I did a lot of things similar to what I'm doing right now. I was in administration.
Okay.
Officially an orders clerk when I first went in. So I helped Marines transition from one duty station to another, get their travel plans, different things like that together to make sure they had what they needed when they were moving from one place to another or going on temporary duty.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I'll be seeing you around.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ron Carden. I served in the U.S. Air Force for 20 years. My favorite memories are traveling Europe and meeting my wife and creating a family.
Do you have any advice for any kids or young people wanting to go into the military?
I'd give the same advice I got, which is if you join the military, serve 20 years, retire, your future will have no limits at that point.
Okay. Now, you said you were in for 20 years. What were the years?
From 1987 to 2007.
Okay. And I'm going to correct him on that because it was closer to 2008 because he spent an extra month deployed. Okay.
Hey, I'm Alex Sanders. I was in the United States Navy between 1979 and 1983. I started out as ROTC at Richmond Academy for 1 year. I was on the rifle team and decided to follow my uncles into the Navy. One of my uncles was on the USS Missouri. Another one was a hull technician and made specialty equipment for dive teams and such like that to recover lost, I guess, missiles or torpedoes or whatever. He made ROVs and things like that. So I looked up to those guys. They were really cool and followed in their footsteps. I was on the USS Independence after going to electronics school in Orlando for, I think, a year and a half, and we pulled the nuclear research vessel, the ASR-15 Sunbird, and it was a submarine recovery for the men that would be trapped underneath if a submarine went down. They had 4 pontoons. They would drop the pontoons, anchor out, and go right over the submarine. Then they would drop a buoy down, attached to the sub top, and recover men. So we had a dive team. I didn't get to do any of that, but I was a cook in the Navy during that time. And after that ship, I went to the USS Independence, CD-62, and it was an aircraft carrier. So I got to be there when the hostages were during the Carter administration, right before Reagan. So we had to go around and around in a circle off of Lebanon. It was called Bagel Station, hence the circle, Bagel Station. So one good thing, I was in the captain's mess because I had a secret clearance from the time as I was electronics technician, and I got to feed Philip Habib when he came on board, the president's envoy to Israel. So that was pretty cool. I didn't know who he was at the time, but I do now, how important that was. We did all sorts of cooking on the ship. I cooked for 3,500 men 4 times a day. I was a E5, so I was head enlisted cook in that galley. Then I went to the captain's galley, and that's when I got to do the fun stuff. But I don't know what else to say. I got out in 1983, and I came home, became a fireman, and did that for 16 years, and became a jeweler on my time. It was a hobby turned profession, and now I'm building a store in Warrenton as kind of like my retirement.
Wow. Okay. So first off, a number popped into my head when you said, well, it's stuck in my head, the 3,500 on one vehicle.
We had almost 6,000 men on the ship.
There you go.
We had 5 kitchens. So I had I was in the senior enlisted kitchen for quite a while, and then I got promoted to the captain's kitchen because the captain's cook retired, and they had to have somebody that could listen while they spoke and not reveal the secrets. So you had to have a secret clearance, and that's kind of hard for a cook to get usually, but I already had it, so they just stuck me in there and got to be in the captain's kitchen.
Pretty cool. Everybody, you just say, now, when we talked earlier, you just said, I'm a cook. I was a cook in the Navy. I'm like, let's hear the real story. Okay. And a lot of people don't realize how massive an aircraft carrier is. Yeah. I mean, they just really don't.
3 football fields, imagine that.
Yeah.
You can play 3 football games and probably a few basketball games on the flight deck.
Yeah, and did you heard that the flight deck? That's not counting the stories that go down,
Oh, no, I think
or
it's
the
like-
stories that go up.
I don't know how. I think it's like 15 stories total, and I was just in the middle, right at the flight deck, flight level, and you really didn't go very far from your little world. That's it. You didn't wander around. You did, So
Yeah, it's
pretty-
amazing because that's what is it? 2 cruise ships, 3 cruise ships at least. How big? An actual
1,500 feet long. So cruise ships are pretty big today too, but it was 40,000 tons. That was what basically the tonnage of the ship was. So
Wow.
it's huge.
And when they say when they say there's the deck is mainly like the flight line, more or
Flight
less.
deck is the flight is where they take off and land. So it has the resting gear, the catapults, and then it has the island. And I got to go up there a lot because I was the captain's cook, and I would take him this coffee and donuts and all that kind of stuff. I was 22 at the time, so it was pretty darn cool to sit up there and watch the planes taking off and being recovered. And stuff
Now I know mostly it's fighter planes that go off of
it's
this thing.
basically all fighter planes,
Yeah.
helicopters, and E2C Hawkeyes and stuff like that for jamming radar. The E2C Hawkeyes were radar would tell everybody where everybody's at, and then the Prowlers I think they were the ones that kind of sent out heavy radar, and they would jam everybody else's radar.
And none
It
of
is so cool.
Yeah, and none of these planes are little. I mean,
No.
So I mean, it's just it's not a little Piper that you're seeing on these decks.
No,
It's
no.
huge. I mean, they're not Charlie Browns or whatever,
No,
but
these
they're
things they're massive, they're loud, they're in your face, and then when they take off, they go. I mean, just next thing they're off the deck, and you just don't see them no more. Just a few seconds, they're gone.
yeah.
Just disappear.
And when you said in your face, the first thing that came to my mind is just like the pilots.
Yeah. And I got to meet a lot of cool guys and stuff like that, and made a lot of friends that I kept up with some of them over the years. But it was a good time in my life.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would tell somebody or recommend to somebody?
I recommend all young men and women to spend one part of their life in the military. It will teach you so much. The discipline, how to follow orders and stuff like that, and get by in the real world. I mean, it really does work for a young person that doesn't quite know where they're at.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alex. That was awesome and perfect.